everyone, welcome to Impact Pilates online workouts. My name is Amanda. Today I have a new workout for you and we're going to be utilizing the fitness circle. Okay, so we're going to be highlighting some areas. We're going to be highlighting shoulder girdle, areas surrounding the hips, so our adductors, our inner thighs, our abductors, our outer hips, as well as like our psoas, which is in like our hip flexor area, some glutes and hamstrings. When it comes to using props, I want you to think of the ring as an enhancement to the workout, just bringing an awareness to the areas that we're working, which I'll be calling out as we go. I feel like sometimes when we incorporate props into our workouts, we sometimes get overwhelmed by them and kind of lose the focus of the connection through our body. We start to squeeze really tight through the ring and we're focusing on like making it like harder and more intense, where yes, it will be in some sense, but I want you to think of using it as more again of an enhancement, a highlighter, to draw awareness to the areas that we're highlighting, instead of getting overwhelmed and almost overworking with the props, if that makes sense. Okay, so it's kind of my little tidbit of advice before we get going. With that, we're going to get started on the mat, on our back. We're going to be down, just finding a nice neutral position through the spine. So if you need to come down to the mat, this is kind of your first workout of the day. You can just take a moment and just kind of rock the pelvis back and forth. Just finding a nice neutral position where the pubic bone and the top of the pelvis are on that same horizontal plane, as long as there's no pulling into the lower back. I want you just to feel nice and soft through the pelvis. Feel a gentle weight of the back ribs onto the mat, and then you're going to grab onto your ring and have the palms in the cushion and just press the ring straight up towards the ceiling. You're going to have a little bit of pressure in. Again, I'm not like death squeezing the ring. I just have a little bit of resistance, enough to where I notice three-dimensional stability through my shoulders. So I'm noticing my pecs up front. I'm noticing its connection underneath the armpit, like my lats. And then if I come around to the upper mid-back, I can feel my scapula lying flat along the rib cage and also down resting on the mat. And I'm not holding any tension in my neck. My shoulders aren't lifting towards my ears. I'm not creating the sense of tension where I don't feel like I can move. I feel almost wide, like I have this sense of width, and like I'm very much supported through the upper back, okay? From here, as we inhale, we're gonna glide the shoulders into protraction. So moving the shoulder blade away from the mat, and then as I exhale, I'm gliding back into retraction. I inhale, I just glide the shoulders into that protraction. Keeping that awareness, the ring is allowing me to be aware of that stability through the shoulder joint, as well as that mobility. We protract, come through neutral, retract. One more time, protract, come through neutral, retract. Stopping, neutral, and center. Now we're going to add a little rotation. So like I'm driving a car, I'm going to rotate. So my right hand comes back towards the forehead, my left hand moves forward. Then I return back center, thinking of creating this space underneath the armpit. Then I switch, left arm back, right arm forward. Create the space. Switching, rotate, feeling this gliding of the humeral head, so the big bone in my upper arm, on the side, rotate, and center, all while maintaining this sense of width, and this sense of width through the back and the front of the shoulders. And center. Last time, we rotate. Come center, now I gently squeeze the ring, and now I'm pulling into the chest. Release and press up. I'm squeezing, pulling in, feeling this connection more so through the front of the chest. Release and push. You'll notice though that little retraction as you go down, the protraction as you lift up. One more time. And press hold. Now wrapping your fingers around the ring, connecting more through that upper back. We pull the ring apart as we lower down. We pull. Release, lift. We gently pull. Now my spine is still neutral, back ribs still gently weighted against the mat. Pull. And release, lift. Again. Pull. Release, lift. Coming back to where my palms are on the cushion, now challenging that rib cage placement a little more. As I gently reach the ring back, allowing this elevation of the scapula without letting it roll off the mat. And then we pull the ring back up to the chest. And again, we reach back. On that exhale, watch if the rib cage isn't popping towards the ceiling. And then pull back up. Again, just still warming up through the shoulder girdle. We reach. And lift. Let's do one more here. We reach. We lift. Now from here, take a breath in. On that exhale, we're going to pull the ring to the chest as we nod the chin and curl up off the shoulders, drawing the rib cage to the pelvis, making sure the pelvis itself is still in a neutral position. We're going to push the ring back up towards the ceiling. Eyes are staying just beyond the knees. Now we're going to try to maintain the flexion here as we pull that right leg up to tabletop and then pull that left leg up to match. Inner thighs gently connecting together. Take another breath in. And now on that exhale, that right toe is tapping down. We pull back up. Again, we have that gentle pressure into the ring. Left toe down. Waking up through the core. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift, add the ring. We pull down as we lower. Push up as the leg comes up. Left side pull. And lift. Right side, we come down. And lift, left side. Lower. Pressing up one more time each side. Down. And lift, last time. Tap. And lift. Now from here, the right leg is lowering down. We're going to lower the head, neck, and shoulders. The left leg stays in that tabletop position. We're going to take your ring, we're going to take the cushion. We're going to bring it just below the left knee. And we're going to take that left hand and we're holding on to that other side. I'm slightly externally rotated, so I have my elbow angled out to the side. I'm sorry, so I'm actually internally rotated a little through the shoulder. And I'm going to take my right hand, and I'm going to bring it behind the head. Now from here, you can either point or flex your left foot. I like that dorsiflexion. Now your psoas, that big muscle through the front of the hip. We're going to turn it on by thinking of pressing the knee into the foam, or the foam roller, the knee into the ring. And then pressing the hand also into that other side, creating a sense of resistance. You may feel that left oblique turn on. You're going to feel a little bit of work through the front of the hip. Now from here, we take a breath in. We're going to add an oblique twist. On that exhale, we rotate and flex, putting a little bit more pressure into that ring. And then we release out. So again, feeling that little enhancement through the obliques, through the front of the hip. Feeling this length as well through the back of the leg. Exhale, up. Inhale, release. Exhale, press, lift. Use that ring to keep you honest with your rotation. 4 more. 4. It's just that small rotation and flexion of the rib cage. 3. and back. 2 more. This is 2. And release. Now this is 1. Now we're gonna hold it here. Now just small little lifts up. 4, 6, little release. 5, lift. 4, think of just deepening the connection. Up. That's it. 3, 2 more. 2, and 1, lowering all the way down. Bringing that foot down, switching sides, so we have that ring just below the right knee. Right hand is also on that other end of the handle. Elbow is slightly out to the side. You have your left hand behind the head. Check in with the pelvis, make sure you're nice and neutral. Start by just pulling the knee in, pressing into the hands, so you're creating your own sense of connection and resistance through the body. Feel that support through the front. Feel that length through the sitting bones in the back of the pelvis. Add that rotation and flexion, we lift. Inhale back. Think left rib cage, right pelvis. And back. Exhale, lift. And release. Exhale, up. And back. 4 more. This is 4. We're going to keep it up on that last one. And back. 3. Release. 2 more. 2. Last one. Lift and stay. Keep it here. Small lifts up. We up for 6. Little back. 5. Little back. Both sides of the pelvis still down on the mat. This is just from the ribs. Using the obliques. 3. Last 2. 2. Back. 1. Releasing all the way back. Lowering that foot down. Taking the ring now. We're going to bring it right in between the inner thighs. I like going just above my knees. Now if you feel a little, if this feels too wide, if you're a little more narrow through your pelvis, take the ring and bring it down just below your knees. Okay, so either way is perfect. Do what feels right for your body and your proportions. Make sure though, that with it right in between the inner thighs, that the feet are wide enough. You don't want your knees splaying out and your feet together. You want to still have this nice alignment through the outer hip, outer knee, outer ankle, okay? From here, both hands come behind the head. We're still in that neutral pelvis. We have those elbows swooped up so you can see them in your peripheral vision. As you exhale now, we're gonna fold and flex, going into that ab prep, but adding a little bit of inner thigh connection. We're drawing the ring in, so we are squeezing the ring, but think of pulling in and almost drawing up, like you're sucking it up through the midline of the body. Take a moment, peek down at your pelvis, make sure that you're not curling into that posterior tilt. You should still be neutral, okay? And feel that almost sinking and widening of your abdominal wall, helping to support the spine. Because now you're gonna hold the flexion. You're gonna gently release the ring. We're doing 3 little squeezes in. We draw in 3, they're slow and controlled. 2, this is 1, hold, and then release, lower the head, neck, and shoulders down. Again, we fold and flex and squeeze. This happens at the same time. Now nothing changes with the upper body, just gently release the ring. 3 squeezes here. 3, squeeze, 2, almost think of deepening through that ab curl a little more. Squeeze and hold. Release all the way back. Again, fold and flex, gently squeeze. Releasing here. 3 pulses in, 3. Deepen more, 2. Connect and pause. Release all the way back. One more time, fold and flex, drawing in and up through that midline. Gently release. Now again, you're not gonna move the upper body, but imagine curling up a little higher as you do those little squeezes. 2, to help maintain the flexion. 1, stay, and then release all the way back here. Beautiful, take the ring out. We're gonna switch it, so now we bring it through the legs like we're putting on a skirt. We're gonna have it just above the knees and our feet come down. Same idea, we're feeling this resistance out. But again, it stems up from the outer hip. So again, if you take a moment, I want you to think of pressing the feet down to the floor. And now imagine that you're pressing the feet down and that you're trying to pull apart a cement floor. So if you press the feet down and imagine pressing out, feel how that naturally puts resistance into the ring without you feeling like you need to just press from your knee joint, right? Use the whole side body from here. Take a breath in. Exhale, connect through the obliques and peel all the way up, keeping that same amount of resistance. Think of reaching the knees forward, obliques drawing up again to support that lower back. It's a breath in at the top, and then begin to melt the spine all the way down. Whew, that felt really nice through the front of my hips. Coming through that imprint, back to that neutral. Again, it's an inhale. Exhale, use the obliques. You're keeping that resistance the whole time. It's not changing. We just feel, again, that extra layer through the outer hip. We take a breath in and then begin to melt that spine again all the way down through that imprint, back to neutral. Now it's going to be the same pattern as when we were just doing that ab prep. We take a breath in, exhale, we curl and lift up. We end up at the widest part of the shoulder blades. Now we're going to gently release some of that resistance on the ring. Then we're doing 3 little presses out. We press out for 3, little release, 2, little release, 1, stay, and then slowly roll all the way back down. That's it, doing that again, breath in, exhale, peel it up. Ending on the widest part of the shoulder blades, gently releasing that ring, 3 little pulses, 3, 2, 1, stay, slowly return all the way back down, back to that neutral. Last time, breath in, exhale, we imprint, peeling up, keeping that gentle pressure out. It's an inhale, little release. Exhale, 3 pulses out. 3, 2, 1, and slowly melting the spine all the way back down to that neutral. Beautiful. Sticking with that outer hip, we're going to take the ring now. We're just sliding it down to the outer part of the ankles. And we're going to roll over to our side, legs straighten out. Getting into this is going to be the hardest part. We're in one long line, legs straight, they're inside the ring. We're coming all the way down. Bottom arm can be straight or bent, supporting the head. And then once you find this long position, go ahead, take that top leg and lower it down so those inner thighs are squeezed. We are in one long line. You should be able to peek down and see your toes, making sure that your rib cage and pelvis are lined up and your pelvis is stacked right on top of each other. From here, taking that top leg, we lift, we put a little pressure up. Now again, if you peek down, I want you to make sure here that your femur, right, your big bone, is angled straight ahead. It's parallel, and then we pull it back down. We have a tendency, especially when we're putting pressure again into the ring, to externally rotate at the hip or internally rotate at the hip. Again, I want you to think of that almost pulling apart starting from the feet and then lowering back down. Exhale, press, pull apart, and in. Staying drawn up through that side body. Good, and down. Exhale, lift 4, and lower, up 3, good, down, 2 more, 2, good, down, feeling some heat here through that side glute. Nice, and lower down. Now take that top leg out. We're gonna bend, place it on top. Again, now working up through the inner thighs. Again, don't think of just squeezing down. On that exhale, think of pressing down, but from the very top of the inner thigh, I think drawing up through the midline. Inhale, release. Exhale, down, draw up. That's it, release. Use the breath. It's an exhale. Good, and inhale. This time we exhale. Now keep it here. Now that bottom leg lifts, that top leg stays down, lower. Again, lengthen, draw up through those inner thighs and lower. Exhale, lift and lower. This time we lift. Pause and connect here. Now both legs together. Release the top, release the bottom, then squeeze. Release the top, release the bottom. Draw together, that's it. Release. Draw together. Again. Release. Draw together, pause, holding it here. 4, 6. Hold 5. Connect 4. Find that long line. 3, 2, 1. And release. Nice. All right, let's bring ourselves up. We're going to repeat that series on the other side. So we're coming over. Remember, both ankles start inside the ring. We're coming all the way down on our side, finding that long line, rib cage in line with the pelvis. You should be able to peek down and see the ankles, pulling up gently through that bottom oblique. And again, there's a gentle connection here through the glutes. That's going to help keep you stable through the pelvis. You're also thinking of the sense of opposition through the body. We have that top leg now. We start with that outer hip. Remember, it's a pull apart and down. Exhale, lift, pull apart and lower. Lift, good, and down. Exhale, lift, press. Beautiful, lower. Again, lift. Peeking down, that same rule applies, trying to keep that femur nice and parallel. Knee straight ahead. 2 more. 2. And down. This is 1. Good, lowering down, bending that knee, placing the ring right on top. Connecting through the inner thigh, we exhale now. Gently draw down, but pull up. Inhale, release. Again, gently pull down, draw up. Yes. And release. 2 more here. Down. And release. This one, we're going to keep that pressure down. We press. Now hold it here, that bottom inner thigh. We draw up. Inhale, down. Draw up, connecting through the very top. That's it, down. Draw up. And down. Draw up. Pause for a moment here. Now both legs. Release. Exhale. Connect. That's it. Release. And connect. Good. Release. And connect. Release. Connect. Pause. Hold here. Feel that opposition for 6. Hold 5. Good. 4. Reach. 3, 2, 1. And release. Beautiful. We're going to peel ourselves up. We're going to be now in a seated position, facing the side. We're going to have the ring in our hands. We're going to have your legs about as wide as your mat, or say hip width apart, or if not a little bit wider. You can bend your knees. As you see, I'm using that modification for myself because I want you to be seated on top of the pelvis in a neutral position without creating any tension through the body. So if your hamstrings have the length today, go ahead and reach them straight. If not, go ahead, bend them. If either of these are comfortable, you can even go cross-legged if you wish, or even bend the knees up here, okay? We're gonna have the ring in front of the chest, and with that little bit of resistance in. Once you find that neutral pelvis, let the rest of the spine just stack up right on top. From here now, we're gonna rotate to the right. And as we rotate, we just have, again, that little bit of resistance, and we're gonna lift the ring all the way up overhead. So thinking of the crown of the head reaching through the ring as you spiral. Equal weight though on the pelvis and the sitting bones. Then from the head, we're gonna nod the chin and flex, reaching that ring over the toes, getting this nice length through the back, and almost feel this hug coming, wrapping around underneath the armpit. Also here, I'm just gonna have you pause for a minute. Make sure that the head's not falling below the ring, or the ring's not falling below the head. Keep the crown of the head reaching beyond that ring. Now from the back of the spine, you're stacking everything back up, bottom to top, and then pull the ring down as you rotate back center. To the left, we'll speed it up a little bit. We rotate, lift, growing nice and tall. Reach beyond as you flex, getting that stretch through the hamstrings, through the spine. Stacking back up, nice and tall. Pull center, return the ring down. To the right, rotate and lift. Reach out. Stack up, bottom to top. Pull down, come center to the left. Rotate, lift. Flex over. Again, that ring is creating this sense of awareness again through the shoulders and spine, as well as adding that challenge as you're lengthening the lever and have a little bit more weight that we're working with. Flex over the right. Maybe gaining a little more mobility as you go through. Stacking up. Pulling down, last time. Rotate, lift. Flexing forward. Stacking up. And pull center. Bringing the knees in a little bit more. Ankles are down, or you can go, if you're tight through the ankles, you can have the heels on, toes up. But again, nice and neutral. And we're gonna push the ring just beyond that right knee. So we're in that little bit of rotation to the right. Now from here, think of your half roll back. We're gonna scoop, start to roll the pelvis back. Going as far as you can stabilize through the lower body. We're gonna pass through center, lifting the ring up as high as you can maintain that C curve. Bring it down just beyond that left knee, and then return up to that neutral vertical, rotated to the left. Repeating here, so we keep that rotation, we scoop, roll back. Challenging through the abdominals, We pass through center, move from the ribs, pelvis is stable, ring comes down just beyond the right, returning all the way back up. Scoop, roll back, we roll. We lift. Come through. And return to the left. Scoop, roll. That's it. Pass through. Challenge, see if those arms can maybe come up a little higher that time. They return down and lift. One more time each side. Scoop, roll. Up and center, left. Lift, last time. Scoop and roll. That's it. Up. Right. Returning vertical. Coming back through to center. From here, I'm going to turn so I'm facing the front. We're just going to be sitting back on the heels now. Or again, if this isn't a comfortable position for the knees, you can sit down in the mat. You can even sit on a chair if that is more comfortable for you. You still want to have that connection between the rib cage and the pelvis. And we're going to bring the ring again forward here. It's doing some work opening the chest. Again, still having that awareness through the shoulders here. We're going to come up. We gently squeeze the ring now as we bring it back behind the head. Getting this nice stretch through the triceps, through the lats. Watch again that range. I just felt myself doing it myself. You don't want that rib cage to be popping forward. Think of maintaining this connection here. And then we're lifting back up and pulling it down. Again, we lift. Open through the front. And again, I just have a little bit of pressure here. I'm not really even squeezing. It's just enough to make sure that the ring is secure in my palms. Coming back up. Lowering down. I'm going to add the spine now. I'm coming up. I'm lifting and extending through the spine. And then as I straighten my elbows, I'm going to almost like throw and flex. I'm stacking up. And if you're familiar with the videos, we've done something very similar with toning balls before. Don't remember which workout, but we've done this, so the move is similar. And again, if you're familiar, after this one, we're gonna add the hips. We lift and throws, now we're coming up. We lift, extend through the hips, open all the way up. Come back through, sit, flex, lift, open, straighten through, flex, two more, lift, up, straighten, flex, last time, up, extend, come through, and flex, stacking all the way up. I'm on my right knee now, ring is off to the side, left leg is out, right hand, or left hand, sorry, is behind the head. Now I'm gonna shift some of that weight over now to my right knee, my right hand. I'm connecting through the lat. I'm obviously on an unstable surface here, so it's more work through the oblique, through the glute, to stabilize. I'm gonna lift that left leg up. I'm tapping it down, connecting into all that work we did through that outer hip. Also think of pulling up through the inner thigh. Lift, lower, lift. Now I want you to think of almost like a teeter-totter. As I lift, I move a little pressure and up. A little pressure down, lift, pressure, up, 3, lift, 2, up, last 1, up, grab a hold of that ring and just move up. Give a nice counter side stretch. swinging around, repeating that on the other side. So we're out with that right leg, bring us to the left. I have my left hand on, right hand behind my head. I start just shifting the weight to where I feel, again, that side body kind of kick on. From here, starting maintaining that stability, just lifting that right leg, feeling that support system through the left. Lift. That's it, down. Up. Good. After this one, now we're feeling an almost teeter-totter. We lift. Little pressure. Draw up. Feel that outer hip. Draw up through that midline, the inner thighs. Down. Lift. 3 more. 3. Up. 2. Lift. 1. Up, down. Grab onto that ring, giving yourself that nice counter stretch. And then coming around and back up. Coming back down, we're just gonna lift the ring, circle up, and almost give a little side stretch. And then we're gonna come, circle around, and almost bend, pull, give a little rotation behind. We circle around, stretch, come around, pull, around, lift, side bend, circle, pull, other side. Let's pull back first, and then circle around to the front. Up over to that right. Swoop in front of the body, down, and reach. Around, lift, coming down, back, last time, around, up, stretch, around, and rotate back. Coming through center, dropping the rings, hands can just come onto the thighs. 2 finishing breath is here. We take a big inhale into the ribs, breathing all the way down to the pelvis. Exhaling here, out through the mouth. 1 more time. Full breath in. And exhaling out. Awesome job, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here for another workout. I hope that you enjoy that. I hope that you feel a little enlightened with using some of the props. And I hope to see you back here on the mat with me again soon. Hope everyone has a lovely day.